Picture the desert at night. The stars hang like lanterns. The sand cools under the moon, and there, looming in silence, sits the Great Sphinx of Giza, half lion, half human, all mystery. It has watched over the plateau for thousands of years, its gaze fixed on eternity, its body worn by wind and time. Tourists shuffle past in the daylight, snapping photos, but when the crowds vanish, the Sphinx seems to whisper to the dunes, "I know things you don't." The legend says that beneath this colossal guardian lies a hidden chamber, a vault of wisdom, a library of secrets, the hall of records. Imagine dusty scrolls, golden tablets, or perhaps holographic crystal discs, depending on which storyteller you ask. Supposedly, it contains the lost knowledge of ancient civilizations, the blueprint of humanity's forgotten past, and maybe even the directions to Atlantis, if you're lucky. Why would the Egyptians build such a thing? Well, they were not exactly known for keeping things simple. Pyramids weren't just tombs, they were cosmic engines. Temples weren't just places of worship, they were maps of the heavens. So of course, the idea of a secret chamber beneath the Sphinx feels perfectly in character. If you're going to carve a giant lion man out of stone, why not tuck a cosmic filing cabinet underneath it? The Hall of Records has become the stuff of legend, whispered in books, documentaries, and late-night conversations, where someone inevitably says, "What if they're hiding it from us?" Archaeologists roll their eyes, alternative researchers nod sagely, and the Sphinx just sits there, refusing to comment. A statue that doesn't speak, guarding secrets it may or may not have, while humanity projects its wildest dreams onto its silent face. Whether the hall exists or not, the story itself has power. It keeps us curious, keeps us searching, keeps us awake at night, or, in your case, gently drifting toward sleep. And before you drift off completely, don't forget, like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments where you're watching from, preferably somewhere cozy with your blanket pulled up, because history is best enjoyed when you're already halfway to dreamland. Civilizations, whether Egyptian, Mayan, or Incan, seem to have a peculiar obsession, building chambers that were hidden, tucked away, sealed with stone, and whispered about for centuries. These weren't just broom closets of antiquity. They were vaults of meaning, places where rulers, priests, and dreamers stored not only treasures but ideas. Why did they do it? Partly because secrecy is power. If you can hide something, you can control who finds it. The Egyptians carved tombs deep into cliffs, filled with paintings and spells to guide souls through the afterlife. The Mayans built hidden rooms beneath temples, chambers that may have been used for rituals or to honor ancestors. The Incas tucked away mummies in caves high in the Andes, as if the mountains themselves were guardians of memory. But there's another reason. Mystery itself was part of the design. Ancient people believed that knowledge was sacred, too powerful to be left lying around like loose change. So they locked it away, wrapped it in rituals, and buried it under tons of stone. The chamber became a symbol, a place where the living could connect with the divine, where the earthly met the cosmic. Archaeologists today stumble upon these chambers and scratch their heads. Some are filled with treasures, others with bones, and some with nothing at all, as if the emptiness itself was the point. Alternative researchers, of course, love to speculate. Maybe they contained maps to Atlantis, or maybe they were just ancient versions of do not disturb signs. The truth is, civilizations built secret chambers because they understood something we often forget. Mystery makes life richer. A hidden room is not just a room. It's a story waiting to be told, a puzzle waiting to be solved, a lullaby for the curious. So, as you drift deeper into this sleepy history, picture yourself walking through a corridor carved thousands of years ago, torchlight flickering, shadows dancing, and at the end, a sealed door. Behind it lies something unknown, something waiting, something that may never be revealed. And isn't that the point? The chamber is less about what's inside and more about the wonder it inspires. The Great Sphinx of Giza is more than a monument carved from limestone. It is a symbol of endurance, mystery, and guardianship. Sitting silently on the Giza plateau, it has watched over pyramids, tombs, and shifting sands for thousands of years. Its massive body, part lion and part human, embodies strength and wisdom, qualities that ancient Egyptians believed were essential to protect sacred knowledge. The Sphinx was not simply a statue to impress visitors. It was a sentinel, a guardian placed at the threshold of temples and tombs, meant to ward off chaos and preserve order. Its gaze, fixed eastward, toward the rising sun, connected it to cycles of rebirth and renewal. For the Egyptians, this alignment was not accidental. It was a deliberate gesture, linking the earthly realm to the divine. Legends grew around the Sphinx, suggesting that beneath its paws or within its foundations lay hidden chambers. These stories painted the Sphinx as more than stone, as a keeper of secrets, a silent protector of wisdom, too powerful to be left in the open. Whether these chambers exist or not, the idea persists because the Sphinx itself seems to invite speculation. Its sheer presence suggests that it knows more than it reveals. Over centuries, the Sphinx became a canvas for human imagination. Ancient texts hinted at its role as a guardian of mysteries, while later traditions expanded its legend into tales of hidden libraries and lost records. Even today, researchers and dreamers alike see it as a symbol of the unknown, a reminder that history often hides its most important truths beneath layers of silence. The Sphinx endures as a paradox, a monument that speaks without words, a guardian that protects without moving, a mystery that deepens the more it is studied. It is not only a relic of Egypt's past, but a timeless emblem of humanity's fascination with secrets waiting to be uncovered. The Great Sphinx has always been more than stone. It has been a canvas for speculation. Beneath its paws, around its foundations, and within its weathered body, countless theories have emerged about hidden chambers. Some are grounded in archaeology, others in imagination, and together they form a debate that has lasted for centuries. Archaeologists, trained to measure, excavate, and analyze, approach the Sphinx with caution. For them, the monument is primarily a product of the Old Kingdom, carved during the reign of Pharaoh Khafre. They argue that while erosion and fissures exist, there is little evidence of vast underground libraries or secret vaults. Excavations and surveys have revealed tunnels and cavities, but these are often explained as natural formations or later modifications rather than deliberate hidden chambers. Alternative researchers, however, see the Sphinx as a gateway to mysteries far deeper. They propose that beneath it lies the Hall of Records, a legendary archive of ancient wisdom, possibly predating Egypt itself. Some suggest that the Sphinx was built not by Egyptians alone, but by a lost civilization, its chambers designed to preserve knowledge from catastrophes that erased earlier cultures. For them, anomalies detected by ground-penetrating radar or unexplained cavities are tantalizing clues that mainstream archaeology dismisses too quickly. The debate is not merely about stone and sand. It is about worldview. Archaeologists emphasize evidence, context, and cautious interpretation. Alternative thinkers emphasize possibility, myth, and the allure of secrets waiting to be uncovered. Each side sees the Sphinx differently, one as a monument firmly rooted in history, the other as a silent guardian of truths hidden from humanity. This tension between fact and speculation has kept the Sphinx alive in modern imagination. Whether the chambers exist or not, the theories themselves have become part of its legend, ensuring that the monument is not only studied but dreamed about. The Sphinx endures as a battleground between science and mystery, a reminder that history is never just about what we know, but also about what we hope to discover. The civilization of ancient Egypt was built upon a foundation of belief that stretched far beyond the Nile and the desert sands. To the Egyptians, life was only one stage of existence, a brief passage before the eternal journey of the soul. Their gods, rituals, and monuments were not simply cultural expressions, but essential guides for navigating the mysteries of death and the cosmos. The pantheon of Egypt was vast, populated by deities who embodied natural forces and cosmic principles. Ra, the sun god, sailed across the sky each day and descended into the underworld each night, symbolizing the eternal cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Osiris, lord of the afterlife, represented resurrection and judgment, while Isis, his devoted consort, embodied magic, healing, and maternal protection. Anubis, with the head of a jackal, oversaw embalming and guided souls through the perilous journey beyond. Each god played a role in maintaining the balance and harmony of the universe. The afterlife was central to Egyptian thought. Death was not an end but a transition, and the soul's survival depended on preparation. Tombs were constructed as eternal homes, filled with food, treasures, and spells inscribed on walls or papyrus. The Book of the Dead provided instructions for navigating the underworld, including how to pass the weighing of the heart ceremony, where the soul was judged against the feather of truth. A heart heavy with sin was devoured by Ammit, the fearsome creature of judgment, while a pure heart earned eternal life in the field of reeds, a paradise mirroring earthly existence but perfected. Hidden knowledge was woven into this spiritual framework. Priests guarded rituals, incantations, and astronomical observations, believing that sacred wisdom was too powerful for ordinary use. Temples were not only places of worship, but repositories of cosmic order, where architecture itself mirrored the heavens. The alignment of pyramids with stars, the orientation of temples to solstices, and the secrecy of inner chambers all reflected a belief that divine knowledge had to be concealed, revealed only to the initiated. The Sphinx and the pyramids, in this context, were not merely monuments but guardians of wisdom. Their silence was deliberate, their mystery intentional. To the Egyptians, stone could hold secrets, and chambers could preserve truths meant for eternity. The idea of hidden records beneath the Sphinx fits naturally into this worldview, whether or not such chambers exist. Egyptian beliefs remind us that knowledge was never separate from faith. It was sacred, powerful, and often hidden, entrusted to monuments and myths that continue to inspire wonder. Their gods, their rituals, and their vision of the afterlife created a civilization where every stone and every symbol carried meaning, and where the boundary between the earthly and the divine was never truly fixed. The Hall of Records is one of the most enduring legends tied to the Great Sphinx and the pyramids of Egypt. It is said to be a hidden chamber, a vault of wisdom buried beneath the sands, containing the collective knowledge of ancient civilizations. The idea is not simply about treasure or artifacts. It is about a library of humanity's forgotten past, a place where secrets of the cosmos, lost technologies, and histories erased by time might still be preserved. The concept gained prominence through myths and esoteric traditions. Some accounts describe the hall as containing scrolls from Atlantis, records of cataclysms that reshaped the earth, and maps of civilizations that no longer exist. Others imagine it as a repository of sacred texts written by Thoth, the Egyptian god of wisdom, or by priests who sought to safeguard knowledge against the destruction of war and natural disaster. Mainstream archaeology has found no evidence of such a chamber, but the allure persists. The Sphinx, with its enigmatic gaze and monumental presence, seems the perfect guardian for such a vault. Its silence invites speculation, and its age inspires wonder. For believers, the Hall of Records is not only possible, but inevitable, a hidden archive waiting to be uncovered when humanity is ready to understand its contents. The legend also reflects a broader human desire, the hope that somewhere, hidden from view, lies a complete explanation of our past. The Hall of Records symbolizes the longing for certainty, for answers to mysteries that remain unresolved. Whether beneath the Sphinx or elsewhere, the idea of a secret library resonates because it promises to connect us with truths that time has concealed. The Hall of Records remains a mystery, a concept balanced between myth and possibility. It is a story that continues to inspire explorers, researchers, and dreamers, reminding us that beneath the sands of history, there may still be chapters waiting to be read. Among the many threads woven into the tapestry of Egyptian mythology, few figures stand out as vividly as Thoth, the god of wisdom, writing, and knowledge. Depicted often with the head of an ibis, or sometimes as a baboon, Thoth was believed to be the divine scribe, the keeper of cosmic order, and the one who recorded the judgments of souls in the afterlife. His presence in Egyptian belief was not merely symbolic. He represented the very act of preserving truth across eternity. Legends attributed to Thoth speak of hidden wisdom, secret texts, and teachings that could unlock the mysteries of the universe. Ancient traditions claimed that Thoth authored sacred writings containing knowledge of astronomy, medicine, mathematics, and the secrets of the gods themselves. These writings, sometimes referred to as the Books of Thoth, were said to be so powerful that they could grant mastery over the heavens and the earth. Because of their potency, myths insisted they were concealed, hidden away in tombs or chambers, accessible only to those deemed worthy. The connection between Thoth and the Hall of Records is natural within these legends. If such a chamber exists beneath the Sphinx, it is imagined as a repository of Thoth's wisdom, a library of scrolls or tablets, preserving the story of humanity from its beginnings. For believers, the hall is not simply an archive, but a sacred trust, guarded by the Sphinx and linked to Thoth's role as divine recorder. Egyptian myths often blurred the line between history and allegory, and Thoth's legends reflect this. He was credited with inventing writing, with measuring time, and with maintaining balance in the cosmos. In the weighing of the heart ceremony, Thoth stood by to record the outcome, ensuring that truth was preserved even in judgment. His role was not only to hold knowledge, but to safeguard its integrity. Over centuries, these myths inspired countless interpretations. Esoteric traditions outside Egypt adopted Thoth as a symbol of hidden wisdom, sometimes merging him with figures like Hermes in Greek thought, creating the composite Hermes Trismegistus of Hermetic philosophy. In these later traditions, Thoth's teachings were imagined as universal truths, timeless and transcendent, waiting to be rediscovered. The legends of Thoth endure because they embody humanity's longing for ultimate knowledge, whether hidden in chambers beneath the Sphinx or preserved in myth. His wisdom represents the idea that truth is eternal, even if concealed. The myths remind us that civilizations may fade, but the desire to seek and preserve knowledge is as enduring as the monuments that still stand in the desert sands. The Great Sphinx of Giza has long attracted explorers, scholars, and dreamers, each determined to uncover its secrets. Archaeological efforts around the monument stretch back centuries, with early travelers recording impressions and later excavators attempting to peel away the sands that had buried much of its body. For much of its history, the Sphinx was not the towering figure we see today, but a head and shoulders protruding from dunes, its lion's body hidden beneath layers of desert drift. Serious excavations began in the 19th and early 20th centuries, when archaeologists and engineers cleared away the sands to reveal the full length of the Sphinx. These efforts exposed its massive paws, the remnants of temples built alongside it, and evidence of repairs carried out by ancient Egyptians themselves. The uncovering of the Sphinx transformed it from a half-buried curiosity into a complete monument, reigniting speculation about what might lie beneath. Investigations continued throughout the 20th century. Archaeologists mapped the bedrock, studied erosion patterns, and searched for signs of hidden chambers. Some surveys revealed fissures and cavities in the limestone, sparking debates about whether these were natural formations or man-made structures. Excavations around the Sphinx also uncovered causeways, temples, and inscriptions, helping to place the monument within the broader context of the Giza Plateau. Despite these efforts, no definitive evidence of vast underground chambers has been found. Archaeologists emphasize that while anomalies exist, they do not necessarily indicate secret vaults or libraries. Yet the persistence of the legend has ensured that every excavation, every survey, is scrutinized for hints of something more. The history of archaeological work near the Sphinx reflects both progress and limitation. Much has been revealed about its construction, its weathering, and its role in Egyptian culture, but the deeper mysteries remain unresolved. Each excavation adds detail to the story, yet the possibility of hidden chambers continues to hover, keeping the Sphinx firmly at the center of both science and speculation. As the legend of hidden chambers beneath the Sphinx persisted, modern science stepped in with tools far more precise than chisels and shovels. Archaeology entered a new era where technology could peer beneath stone and sand without disturbing the monument itself. Radar, lasers, and advanced scanning methods became the instruments of exploration. offering glimpses into what might lie unseen. Ground-penetrating radar was among the first technologies applied to the Giza Plateau. By sending pulses into the earth and measuring the reflections, researchers could detect anomalies, cavities, fissures, or changes in density. Some surveys revealed intriguing patterns beneath and around the Sphinx, sparking speculation that these might be man-made chambers, while archaeologists often interpreted them as natural features of the limestone bedrock. Alternative researchers saw them as tantalizing hints of hidden vaults. Lasers added another dimension to exploration. High-resolution laser scanning allowed scientists to create detailed three-dimensional models of the Sphinx, capturing every contour, crack, and erosion mark. These models not only preserved the monument digitally, but also helped identify structural weaknesses and unusual features that might suggest hidden spaces. The precision of laser mapping transformed the way the Sphinx was studied, turning it into data as well as stone. Other technologies, such as seismic surveys and electrical resistivity imaging, further expanded the toolkit. By measuring vibrations or electrical currents through the ground, researchers could detect voids or differences in material. These methods provided additional evidence of anomalies beneath the Sphinx, though interpretations remained divided between natural geology and possible chambers. The use of modern technology reflects a shift in archaeology from excavation to non-invasive exploration. Instead of digging blindly, scientists now scan, map, and model, preserving monuments while probing their secrets. The Sphinx, once studied only by eye and hand, is now examined through waves, beams, and algorithms. Despite these advances, the mystery remains unresolved. Technology has revealed anomalies, but not definitive proof of hidden rooms. The Sphinx continues to guard its secrets, offering just enough evidence to keep curiosity alive. Modern tools have brought us closer than ever to answers, yet they also remind us that some mysteries resist even the sharpest beams of light and the deepest pulses of radar. Over the decades, the Great Sphinx has been subjected to countless studies, surveys, and excavations, each one peeling back a layer of mystery. While no definitive Hall of Records has ever been uncovered, researchers have found intriguing anomalies and features that continue to fuel speculation. Early excavations revealed tunnels and passages around the Sphinx, some of which were likely carved during restoration efforts in antiquity. These openings suggested that the monument was not simply a solid block of stone, but a structure with potential cavities. Later surveys using ground-penetrating radar detected irregularities beneath the Sphinx, including voids and fissures in the bedrock. To archaeologists, these were often explained as natural formations, but to alternative researchers, they were tantalizing clues of hidden chambers. In the 1990s, seismic studies conducted near the Sphinx reported subsurface anomalies that appeared to be rectangular in shape. These findings were interpreted by some as possible man-made rooms or corridors. While mainstream scholars cautioned against jumping to conclusions, the reports added fuel to the legend of the Hall of Records. Other discoveries around the Giza Plateau have also contributed to the mystery. Excavations uncovered ancient temples adjacent to the Sphinx, inscriptions detailing restoration works by pharaohs, and evidence of water erosion that suggested the monument might be older than traditionally believed. Each of these findings added complexity to the story, hinting that the Sphinx's history may hold more secrets than the surface reveals. Despite these discoveries, no chamber filled with scrolls or artifacts has been confirmed. The evidence remains circumstantial, open to interpretation, and often contested. Yet the allure of anomalies, voids, and unexplained features ensures that the search continues. For many, the absence of proof is not proof of absence. It is an invitation to keep looking. The evidence found so far has not solved the mystery, but it has kept it alive. Each anomaly, each fissure, each unexplained cavity beneath the Sphinx is a reminder that history often whispers rather than shouts, leaving us to wonder what lies just beyond the reach of certainty. The Great Sphinx and the legend of the Hall of Records have always existed at the crossroads of imagination and evidence. On one side stand theories, often bold and captivating, weaving tales of hidden libraries, Atlantean archives, and chambers filled with cosmic wisdom. On the other side stand facts, the careful observations of archaeologists, geologists, and historians who measure, excavate, and analyze with precision. The tension between these two perspectives has shaped the way the Sphinx is understood. Theories often begin with anomalies, cavities detected by seismic surveys, erosion patterns on the Sphinx's body, or unexplained passages around its paws are interpreted by alternative researchers as signs of deliberate construction. They argue that these features point to hidden chambers, perhaps containing records of civilizations lost to catastrophe. Some even suggest that the Sphinx predates dynastic Egypt, built by a culture far older, its secrets preserved beneath layers of stone. Facts, however, tell a more cautious story. Archaeological studies place the Sphinx firmly within the Old Kingdom, most likely carved during the reign of Pharaoh Khafre. Restoration inscriptions from later dynasties confirm that Egyptians themselves maintained and revered the monument. Geological studies explain erosion as the result of wind, sand, and rain over millennia, rather than evidence of extreme antiquity. Excavations have revealed temples, causeways, and tunnels, but none that lead to vast underground libraries. The divide between theories and facts is not simply about evidence. It is about interpretation. Where archaeologists see natural fissures, alternative thinkers see hidden vaults. Where mainstream scholarship emphasizes cultural context, speculative traditions emphasize mystery and possibility. Both perspectives keep the Sphinx alive in human imagination, one through science, the other through myth. Separating myth from reality requires acknowledging both. The facts provide a foundation, grounding the Sphinx in history and culture. The theories, though unproven, reflect humanity's enduring desire for hidden truths and ultimate knowledge. Together, they ensure that the Sphinx is not only a monument of stone, but a symbol of curiosity, a reminder that history is both what we know and what we dream it might still conceal. The idea of the Hall of Records has always carried with it a sense of danger as well as wonder. If such a chamber truly exists beneath the Sphinx, what might it contain? Theories range from the plausible to the fantastical, but all share one theme. The knowledge inside could change humanity's understanding of itself forever. Some imagine shelves of papyrus scrolls or stone tablets, inscribed with histories long erased. These records might detail forgotten dynasties, lost technologies, or catastrophic events that reshaped the earth. They could explain mysteries such as the sudden collapse of ancient civilizations, the origins of pyramid building, or the astronomical knowledge that guided Egyptian architecture. Others envision something far more radical. Esoteric traditions suggest the hall might contain wisdom from Atlantis, instructions for harnessing cosmic energy, or even maps of the stars that reveal humanity's place in the universe. Such knowledge, if real, would challenge not only archaeology, but the foundations of science, religion, and philosophy. The notion of forbidden knowledge arises because information of such magnitude could be disruptive. Ancient Egyptians themselves believed that wisdom was sacred, too powerful to be freely shared. Priests guarded rituals and texts, restricting access to those initiated into mysteries. If the Hall of Records exists, it may have been sealed deliberately, hidden to protect humanity from truths it was not ready to confront. Modern speculation continues this theme. Some argue that governments or institutions might conceal discoveries to prevent upheaval, fearing that revelations about lost civilizations or advanced ancient technologies could destabilize accepted history. Others believe the secrecy is self-imposed by the Sphinx itself, a guardian ensuring that forbidden knowledge remains hidden until the right time. Whether myth or reality, the Hall of Records symbolizes humanity's fascination with the unknown. It represents the possibility that beneath the sands lies a library of truths too powerful, too transformative to be casually revealed. The mystery endures not only because of what might be found, but because of what it might mean, a reminder that some knowledge, once uncovered, cannot be forgotten, and that the line between enlightenment and disruption is often thin. Throughout human history, civilizations have risen to remarkable heights only to collapse suddenly, leaving behind ruins and unanswered questions. The legend of the Hall of Records suggests that if such a chamber exists, it might contain accounts of ancient catastrophes, events so devastating that they reshaped the course of humanity and erased entire cultures from memory. Floods, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and climate shifts have all been proposed as causes of these collapses. Myths from around the world echo with stories of deluge and destruction. The Mesopotamian flood narrative, the biblical tale of Noah, and the Egyptian accounts of chaos before order was restored. These stories may be cultural memories of real disasters, passed down through generations and transformed into myth. If records of these events were preserved, they could provide insight into how ancient peoples understood and survived them. The collapse of civilizations such as the Maya, the Indus Valley, and the Minoans has long puzzled historians. Environmental stress, shifting trade routes, and invasions are often cited, but the possibility of sudden catastrophes remains compelling. The eruption of Thera, for example, devastated the Minoan civilization and may have inspired myths of Atlantis. Droughts and climate change are believed to have played roles in the decline of the Maya and the Indus Valley cultures. If the Hall of Records exists, it might contain detailed accounts of these events, offering clarity where speculation now reigns. Beyond natural disasters, ancient records could reveal human-made catastrophes, wars, plagues, or societal upheavals that accelerated decline. Egyptian texts already describe famines and invasions, but a hidden archive might provide a broader perspective, connecting these events to global patterns. Such knowledge could reshape our understanding of how interconnected ancient civilizations truly were. The allure of the Hall of Records lies in its promise to explain not only how civilizations lived, but how they fell. Catastrophes are turning points in history, moments when cultures are tested and often transformed. If records of these events exist beneath the Sphinx, they could illuminate the fragility of human achievement and the resilience that follows. The mystery of lost civilizations endures because their endings are often abrupt and unexplained. The possibility that hidden archives might reveal the causes of these collapses keeps the legend alive, reminding us that beneath the sands of time may lie stories of survival, destruction, and rebirth, stories that could change how we see the past and how we prepare for the future. The legend of the Hall of Records beneath the Sphinx does not exist in isolation. Over time, it has been woven into a broader tapestry of myths and theories that connect Egypt to other ancient sites and even to civilizations that may never have existed. Chief among these is Atlantis, the fabled island described by Plato as a powerful society that vanished beneath the sea. For many alternative researchers, the Sphinx and the pyramids are not merely Egyptian monuments, but remnants of a global network of wisdom. They argue that the Hall of Records could contain Atlantean knowledge, preserved by survivors who fled their sinking homeland and carried their traditions to Egypt. In this view, the Sphinx becomes not only a guardian of Egyptian secrets, but a custodian of humanity's collective memory, linking the Nile to the Atlantic. Connections have also been drawn to other ancient sites. The megaliths of Stonehenge, the temples of the Maya, and the ruins of the Indus Valley are sometimes interpreted as pieces of a puzzle, each reflecting a shared knowledge of astronomy, geometry, and sacred architecture. The alignments of pyramids with stars, the precision of Mayan calendars, and the engineering of Andean terraces are seen as echoes of a lost global wisdom. Legends of Lemuria and Mu, imagined continents said to have existed in the Pacific or Indian Oceans, further expand the narrative. These mythical lands, like Atlantis, are thought to have harbored advanced civilizations whose knowledge was scattered across the world after catastrophic destruction. The Hall of Records, in this framework, is imagined as a central archive, preserving the wisdom of these vanished cultures. Mainstream archaeology does not support these connections, emphasizing instead the independent development of civilizations. Yet the allure of global links persists because it offers a grand narrative that humanity once shared a common source of knowledge, now fragmented and hidden. The Sphinx, with its enigmatic silence, becomes the perfect symbol of this idea, a monument that could tie together myths from across continents. The fascination with global connections reflects a deeper human desire to see unity in diversity, to believe that the mysteries of Egypt are part of a larger story of lost civilizations. Whether real or imagined, these links keep the legend alive, ensuring that the Sphinx is not only a guardian of Egypt's past, but a doorway to humanity's collective dream of forgotten worlds. One of the most striking features of the Great Sphinx today is not what remains, but what is missing. Its nose, once prominent, is now gone, leaving behind a weathered gap that has become almost as famous as the monument itself. The absence of the nose has inspired centuries of speculation, myths, and interpretations, each adding another layer to the Sphinx's mystery. Historical records suggest that the nose was deliberately removed, though the exact circumstances remain debated. Some accounts claim it was destroyed by cannon fire during military campaigns, while others point to religious iconoclasm where figures were defaced to diminish their power. Archaeological evidence leans toward deliberate chiseling rather than accidental damage, but the precise moment in history when the nose disappeared is uncertain. Beyond the physical explanation, myths have flourished. In Egyptian symbolism, the face was a powerful representation of identity and authority. The nose, central to the visage, was seen as a vital feature. Its removal has been interpreted as an attempt to silence the Sphinx, to strip it of its ability to breathe wisdom into the world. In this view, the missing nose is not just damage but a symbolic act, severing the monument's connection to divine knowledge. Alternative researchers have woven the missing nose into broader theories. Some suggest it was removed to conceal clues about the Sphinx's true age or origin, arguing that facial features might have revealed links to civilizations older than Egypt. Others see it as part of a larger pattern of suppression, where monuments are altered to hide truths about humanity's past. The missing nose has also become a cultural symbol. Artists, writers, and storytellers often reference it as a metaphor for incompleteness, a reminder that history itself is fragmented. The Sphinx, majestic yet damaged, embodies the tension between endurance and loss, between what survives and what is forgotten. In the end, the missing nose is both a historical puzzle and a mythical canvas. Whether removed by soldiers, zealots, or time itself, its absence has transformed the Sphinx into an even greater enigma. The gap is not merely a scar. It is a story, one that continues to invite interpretation and ensures that the Sphinx remains not only a monument of stone, but a living mystery. The fascination with hidden spaces beneath the Sphinx and the pyramids has been fueled not only by modern technology, but also by historical accounts that stretch back centuries. Ancient writers, medieval travelers, and early archaeologists all reported tunnels, passages, and chambers in and around the Giza plateau, each adding to the legend of what might lie concealed beneath the sands. Greek historians such as Herodotus described labyrinths and underground passages in Egypt, vast networks that seemed almost endless. While his accounts were often embellished, they contributed to the idea that Egyptian monuments were more than surface structures, that they concealed intricate worlds below. Later, Arab chroniclers wrote of secret tunnels near the pyramids, sometimes imagining them as places where treasures or forbidden texts were hidden away from invaders. In the modern era, explorers who cleared the sands around the Sphinx discovered shafts and cavities, some leading to small chambers or unfinished tunnels. These findings were often interpreted as maintenance passages or ritual spaces, but for those inclined toward mystery, they became evidence of something greater. Reports of sealed doors, blocked corridors, and unexplored cavities only deepened speculation. Alternative researchers argue that these tunnels may connect the Sphinx to the pyramids, forming a hidden network beneath the plateau. Some even suggest that the Hall of Records itself could be accessed through such passages, concealed deliberately to protect its contents. The idea of a subterranean library linked by secret corridors has become a cornerstone of esoteric traditions. Mainstream archaeology remains cautious, while acknowledging the existence of tunnels and chambers. Scholars emphasize that most were practical in nature, used for construction, restoration, or ritual purposes. Yet the persistence of anomalies detected by surveys, combined with historical accounts of hidden spaces, ensures that speculation continues. The allure of secret tunnels lies in their symbolism as much as their reality. They represent the unseen, the hidden pathways of history, the possibility that beneath the familiar lies something extraordinary. Whether practical or mythical, the tunnels and chambers of the Giza Plateau remind us that monuments are not only what we see above ground, but also what may lie beneath, waiting for discovery. The Great Sphinx has always been surrounded by mystery, but in modern times it has also become a focal point for conspiracy theories. These theories suggest that the truth about the monument and what lies beneath it is deliberately concealed, either by governments, institutions, or secret societies. For believers, the Sphinx is not just a guardian of ancient wisdom, but a symbol of suppressed knowledge. One of the most persistent claims is that the Hall of Records, a legendary archive of humanity's forgotten past, exists beneath the Sphinx, but has been hidden from public view. Conspiracy theorists argue that authorities know more than they admit, pointing to anomalies detected by radar and seismic surveys as evidence of chambers deliberately kept secret. They believe that revealing such knowledge could disrupt accepted history, challenge religious narratives, or expose advanced technologies from lost civilizations. Some theories extend beyond archaeology into geopolitics. They suggest that powerful organizations, from governments to secret societies, actively suppress discoveries to maintain control. In this view, the Sphinx is not only a monument, but a battleground between truth and secrecy, where knowledge is withheld to preserve authority. Others connect the Sphinx to global myths such as Atlantis or Lemuria, claiming that hidden records could prove the existence of advanced ancient cultures. If such evidence were revealed, it might rewrite humanity's story, showing that civilizations far older than Egypt possessed astronomical knowledge, engineering skills, or even technologies that rival our own. The possibility of such revelations fuels suspicion that the truth is intentionally concealed. Mainstream archaeology counters these claims, emphasizing that while anomalies exist, no definitive evidence of hidden chambers or lost records has been found. Yet, conspiracy theories thrive precisely because of this uncertainty. The gaps in knowledge, the unexplored cavities, and the silence of the Sphinx itself create fertile ground for speculation. Ultimately, conspiracy theories about the Sphinx reflect a deeper human impulse, the belief that secrets are being kept from us, that the truth is hidden just out of reach. Whether or not such concealment exists, the idea ensures that the Sphinx remains not only a monument of stone, but a symbol of mystery, secrecy, and the enduring struggle between knowledge and power. The Great Sphinx has not only stood as a monument of stone, but also as a figure woven into the fabric of literature, both ancient and modern. Its enigmatic presence has inspired myths, poems, and scholarly works across centuries, ensuring that the Sphinx lives as much in words as in limestone, Egyptian inscriptions, and hymns, while the Sphinx itself is rarely described in detail in surviving Egyptian texts. Its symbolic role as a guardian is echoed in hymns to gods like Ra and Horus, where lions and hybrid creatures embody divine protection. Greek literature. The Sphinx entered Greek mythology as a riddle giver, most famously in the story of Oedipus. Here, the creature posed the question of what walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 at noon, and 3 in the evening, a riddle that symbolized human life. Though distinct from the Egyptian Sphinx, this literary adaptation shows how the figure was reimagined across cultures. Medieval chronicles Arab historians and travelers often referenced the Sphinx in their writings, describing it as a monument of mystery and sometimes attributing hidden chambers or treasures beneath it. These accounts helped preserve the legend during centuries when much of the monument lay buried in sand. Esoteric writings in the 19th and 20th centuries. Writers such as Helena Blavatsky and Edgar Cayce linked the Sphinx to mystical traditions, suggesting it concealed the Hall of Records or Atlantean wisdom. Their works blended myth with speculation, embedding the Sphinx into the literature of occult and spiritual movements. Historical novels. Authors of historical fiction often use the Sphinx as a backdrop for stories of discovery, adventure, and mystery. It appears as a silent witness to pharaohs' reigns, explorers' quests, and archaeologists' struggles. Popular culture and fantasy. Modern novels and fantasy series frequently reference the Sphinx as a guardian of secrets or riddles. It serves as a symbol of mystery, often guarding portals, treasures, or forbidden knowledge in imaginative retelling. Academic literature. Scholars continue to publish works analyzing the Sphinx's symbolism, its role in Egyptian religion, and its reinterpretation in later cultures. These texts ground the monument in history while acknowledging its enduring mythic aura. The Sphinx's presence in literature reflects its dual nature, part historical monument, part mythic figure. Ancient texts framed it as a guardian. Greek myths transformed it into a riddle giver, and modern books reimagined it as a keeper of hidden wisdom. Across time, the Sphinx has remained a literary symbol of mystery, silence, and the eternal human quest for truth. The legend of the Sphinx and the Hall of Records continues to resonate in the modern world because it speaks to a timeless human desire, the quest for knowledge that has been forgotten, hidden, or deliberately concealed. In an age of satellites, supercomputers, and instant communication, the idea that ancient wisdom might still lie buried beneath the sands is both humbling and inspiring. Curiosity as a driving force. Humanity has always sought to understand its origins. The possibility of lost records beneath the Sphinx symbolizes the hope that answers to our deepest questions about where we come from and how civilizations rose and fell might still be waiting to be uncovered. The allure of mystery. Even in a world dominated by science, mystery retains its power. The Sphinx's silence reminds us that not everything can be explained, and that the unknown continues to fuel imagination. Ancient wisdom in a modern context. Myths of hidden chambers and forbidden texts reflect the belief that knowledge is transformative. If the Hall of Records exists, it could contain insights into astronomy, medicine, or philosophy that might still be relevant today. Fear of disruption. Theories about suppressed discoveries highlight a modern anxiety that powerful truths could destabilize established systems. Whether real or imagined, the idea of hidden knowledge forces us to consider how much of history we truly understand. A symbol of continuity. The fascination with lost knowledge connects us to ancient peoples who also sought to preserve wisdom for future generations. The Sphinx becomes a bridge across time, linking modern seekers with ancient scribes. Spiritual longing. For many, the Hall of Records is not just about facts, but about meaning. It represents the hope that humanity's story is larger than what we see, and that hidden truths could reveal a deeper purpose. The enduring fascination with lost knowledge reflects a paradox. We live in an age of information, yet we still yearn for secrets. The Sphinx embodies this paradox, standing as a monument to both what we know and what we cannot yet grasp. Its mystery reminds us that discovery is never complete, and that the search for truth is as eternal as the stone that gazes across the desert. The Great Sphinx has stood for thousands of years, watching silently as empires rose and fell, as sands shifted, and as generations of seekers tried to unlock its secrets. From myths of Thoth and the Hall of Records to modern radar scans and conspiracy theories, the story of the Sphinx is one of endless fascination. Each chapter of its tale reminds us that history is not only about what we know, but also about what we still long to discover. Despite centuries of excavation, study, and speculation, the Sphinx continues to guard its mysteries. No hidden library has yet been found, no definitive chamber revealed, and yet the allure persists. Perhaps the true power of the Sphinx lies not in what it conceals, but in the way it inspires humanity to keep searching, to imagine, to question, and to dream of knowledge that lies just beyond reach. The mystery remains, balanced between fact and legend, between science and story. The Sphinx endures as both monument and metaphor, a guardian of secrets, a reminder of the fragility of human understanding, and a symbol of our eternal quest for truth. And so, as the sands of time continue to drift across the Giza Plateau, the Sphinx keeps its silent vigil. The answers may come one day, revealed by technology or chance, but for now, the enigma remains. The story closes here, softly, like the desert night settling over the ancient stones. The Sphinx gazes eastward, waiting for the dawn, while we drift into dreams of hidden chambers and forgotten wisdom. The mystery sleeps, and so should we. Good night.